Welcome everyone to another episode. As you can see, the price of Bitcoin is doing exactly what we were saying yesterday. Yesterday was around the 106 when I was explaining how it's more likely to come down instead to going up, but it still was the potential of going up. But this is just typical from Bitcoin, and just do these liquidations over here. When it's trying to break this orange line. So congrats to everybody who have patience and just wait. As I was mentioning, the best price target to get inside Bitcoin again is around the 103, 104, because during the daily we still have some time to go. Probably next week, or we will see how the week close, and we will take more attention how next week gonna be. But at the moment, I will just continue saying to you just to have a little more patience, because the price is gonna be consolidating a little bit in order to go and break off the new all-time high. I have been receiving some private message for a lot of people and friends requesting what actually gonna happen next, and I don't really understand why people are a little bit scared or freaking out yet. Also in the space you hear a lot of people saying they're just topping up, and it's the double top, and there not gonna be any alcohol season, not gonna happen anything else to with the Bitcoin price. The bull run is over. But I don't understand why people are freaking out. If you just pay attention to the long term a little bit more, like in the weekly chart, it's just beautiful holding the previous all-time high. It's just coming to retest, which is what is always so normal in the Bitcoin price. It's beautiful following the pattern that have every breakout of new all-time highs. As you can see here, there's nothing to worry about it. It's just doing it nicely. In the worst case scenario, what Bitcoin should be testing, but I don't think it's gonna happen anymore, is the 99, which is just 100,000. This is nothing. We're talking about the 103 to 100,000 is nothing. So yeah, you should everybody of you should be just be more patient, as I'm repeating, and just enjoy the ride. There is nothing to be afraid. There's no over yet, and even crazy. It's just more up and more discovery price that is gonna come in the next weeks and month, because if you can see, the money supply is just getting a new all-time high, and that just means that the machine is just getting on, and it's starting to bring again, and more money gonna come and continue flowing into the crypto space and having all this big impact as we saw before in 2020 and 2017 and so forth. You can see over here during all this price action from here. Let me see. All this area over here. This was during the 2020s. In that, let me see. Let's go a little more. During the 2020, we went all the way to the 5,000 more or less into this range. Here you can see the 2020. And after all the money printing that was happening with the governments and this pandemic and everything, it went all the way, like it went completely parabolic. And a lot of people were just freaking out that they're gonna lose everything. But Bitcoin was just let me see, just a few weeks. Just a few weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4 weeks went down. And then all the other weeks just went up. Consolidation up, and then you have this craziness, this banana zone, which is started from here, from October all the way to the next year, which was 2021. So there's still a lot to discover, and I would recommend you just to keep an eye on it. and don't get alarmed for what everybody is saying. Also, the governments, they don't really care in reducing the debt they have. They won't reduce any cost, like you can see also with the Dodge from Elon and all and Trump. They won't reduce anything. Maybe they're trying to reduce some costs, but they are peanuts, because if you compare to all the costs that the military from the USA is having with all these geographically issues are happening right now, it's even just getting higher and higher and higher. And as we can see, the statistics of the US debt is completely insane. It's just growing and growing and growing. This is just about the USA, but there are many other countries that are doing the same, because all of them are attached to the same debt, directly, indirectly, and also using all this dirty fiat with it. Every year it's just getting more inflated and having more base, and it's gonna just fail and fail and fail, because that's the default of all the fiat currency. And if you can just see, in 2015 was just 18, and 10 years after it's 36. It's 36. It's the double pretty much in 10 years. And in the next 10 years, it's going to be 3 or 4x, because the interest is just getting higher and higher and higher. So that means that the debt is just getting more difficult to pay it. And that's why you and everybody should get Bitcoin before that is too late. As yesterday was saying, the CEO of Coinbase, that Bitcoin is going to take over reserve of currency if the USA doesn't cut debt, which they would never cut it. They never cut it. So yes, it will, sooner than later, it will be a reserve currency. And that's why I encourage everybody just to have if you new to Bitcoin crypto, just forget about all the crypto route, all the altcoins. Just put some money on Bitcoin and just wait and have a little bit of a feeling what it is, all this volatility, and you will enjoy it. Just enjoy it, take it easy, but don't put more than you can afford to lose. And once you get off that feeling, you start to learn, you will start to realize that it's a completely game changer. Also, like this bull market as well, it's just it looks like longer compared to the other ones. Like Alex is saying in his chart, we're still around this area. We still have a long way to go. So no way that we're gonna finish right now at the price of 100,000. Also, everybody's just asking about the altcoins, and altcoins, they bleeding a lot because the Bitcoin dominance is just going up and up and up. So it's completely logical that all the money is just flowing to Bitcoin, and for the same reason, altcoins are not really doing well. Everybody's just being having fear that it won't be any other alt season, and this is the funny part on crypto, because everybody forget what has been happening before. Always altcoins are dead and they're bleeding as hell, and never gonna be another altcoin and altcoin season. As you can see over here, again going to the 2020, this was a time for Bitcoin, and was no altcoin season here. The only time when you saw the altcoin season was when you have all this retesting to the blue line in all this area, when it's just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping the Bitcoin dominance. So right now we're just in a beautiful making just new all-time highs. Let me see. We were touching we did a new all-time high. So there is no way that Altcoin's gonna do better anytime soon. You just need to be patient. It's gonna happen. Yes, it will happen. Just keep attention to the Bitcoin dominance to see what's gonna happen. Sorry guys, I was showing the Bitcoin chart, but as you can see here, have been just going up and up, the Bitcoin dominance. And in all these drops, this drop is the beautiful icon system that everybody's waiting. Also, this area here, this has been the beautiful icon system where everybody is just filthy rich as hell. So just keep an eye to these charts, because at a certain moment it need to fail, and this is gonna happen when nobody is really paying attention to the Bitcoin dominance. It will happen, and you don't want to be waiting and getting surprised when that happens, because you need to be prepared in order to react when the market is given to you. Also, like I was saying before, there are many companies that are buying, and also let me show you here. I posted like a few days ago that nobody really talking, like everybody's just with the speculation and fear that nothing else gonna happen to the Bitcoin price. But I was posting here, you have all these Trump Media, Genius Group, Rumble, Semir Scientific, Lean Brands, Trimsum, Acrus, and plus that is without mentioning BlackRock and many others. But BlackRock is just bought 58 worth of Bitcoin. So that's completely insane. They just buying and buying and buying and buying and buying, and they're gonna continue just buying. So you don't need to be afraid for that, because the companies, they just getting more and more Bitcoin as they can, because there will be a moment where they cannot get more. Also, there is this news about the Spanish coffee chain that is planning to follow the MicroStrategy with 1 billion Bitcoin bet. Let me know in the comments below if you are from Spain, if you know this coffee company called Vanadi, which actually is trying to do this MicroStrategy. And I was checking the chart from them, and it looks completely horrible. But now they have a little bit of bounce, because like any company that is just bleeding and almost dying, you buy Bitcoin, and you don't need to do anything else. You're just gonna go up. So yeah, also for companies, small companies or big companies, Bitcoin is the answer, and it's the only way to go. Next, I want to also to point to, which is really interesting, what Crypto Robert is mentioning here. He's just saying, are you ready for the final Bitcoin move? Which is a line actually where I was pointing on my Twitter profile since December last year, or the last leg. At the time, yeah, 120k was the well, actually, this was back in July from last year, and the last leg would be around the target was around 120k. But of course, we always need to be checking the time and how strong is the sentiment and all that. And it had been perfectly aligned to that. And as you can see now, with the time I was mentioning in the last videos, it will be around 135, 145, 150, something like that. And actually, he's aligning with that, which is quite interesting. I'm not a fan of making these lines and just following the price through lines, but actually sometimes it makes sense. You can see. Also, I mentioned this before in my video, where Bitcoin, it will going up and making all these making the top to the line, and then here you can see directly how aligned with this area, the RSI, and this target is around 135, 145 is exactly what I have been saying. People are gonna call it to 150, 170, 200. It made. This time I'm not really sure. In the future, yes, that's for sure. 200 is nothing to compare to what's gonna happen in the future. And Adding something else about the companies as well, is really interesting to hear how convinced they are and how they are just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to have Bitcoin in their balance sheet. Just listen to that.
That Bitcoin will surpass that new all-time high, just under $112,000. Fundstrat's Tom Lee, he joined CNBC a couple of months ago, and he said that he thinks Bitcoin could hit $150,000 this year. Do you think that's feasible? What's your prediction?
I do, yeah. I think it's going to get into the high 100s for sure. I would not be surprised to see it in the 225 to 250 range at some point. What you're starting to see is this really large structural bid coming in underneath it. And a lot of these corporations that are buying it, they're long-only buyers. They're not traders of Bitcoin. So they're using it truly as an asset to capitalize on the balance sheet. And when they do that, they're not intending to sell it. So you're seeing all this capital flowing into the markets and into these companies, and that's taking Bitcoin off the market. So when that float starts to shrink, but that buying pressure continues to increase, you can see some really explosive things happen in the price of Bitcoin, and that comes back to that inelastic supply to demand. Doesn't matter how much demand there is, there's no more Bitcoin coming to the market for them to buy.
Exactly. This is a key point of that's why I say to everybody, you should just join and get a little bit involved and have a little bit of sensation. But actually, Bitcoin, the volatility is because there's going to be a point where it's going to be just difficult to get it, because he was saying all these companies, all these countries, everybody who is getting involved, all these large institutions, they're not getting inside to trade like you and many other people, or like me. They're just getting inside to hold it. So that's going to be a big, big, big impact in the Bitcoin price, and they getting it. Why you not getting it? You should just get that because it's simple as it sounds. And just to finish, I also wanted to remark, and actually I mentioned as well before, how this family just go into full crypto and how they love it so much. No, only if you don't watch this video or what he actually saying, you would think that it's just politically because they wanted to be sitting in the presidency. It could be, but also just listen to here, and you have a different picture of why they went completely full on crypto, and that's why everybody at a certain moment it will as well.
He did these things. The reason we got into crypto, and we're all in on crypto, and we're doing American Bitcoin, and we have World Liberty Financing, USD1, was because there was a time, and probably I'd been on this show, where I could call any single banker in New York City. They'd pick up the phone. I'd be able to get a loan for whatever real estate project I was doing across the street. Then we got into politics, and all of a sudden, they wouldn't take your call. You couldn't get financing. We were debanked. And what I realized, and my brother realized, because we were the recipients of every subpoena imaginable, was that, you know what, we were actually just the top of this sort of pyramid scheme that we didn't realize we were a part of, that the financial system was totally undemocratized because we had a certain balance sheet and whatever, we could kind of do whatever we wanted. The regular guy was messed up. Now we were all of a sudden in the shoes of the regular guy that wouldn't be able to take advantage of the markets. And we said, what's the solution for that? The answer is crypto. These decentralized platforms where you're not beholden to this, where you create efficiencies. As a guy that did real estate, why am I paying points in and out for title insurance that could be done on the blockchain? So we got into crypto, not because it was like, hey, this is the next cool thing. We got into it out of necessity. We got into it because we understood just how quickly we could be turned off, even as an incredible developer from New York City. I mean, I don't think anyone would argue that we didn't change the skyline of New York City, but that disappeared in an instant. I mean, we're getting sued by the New York State AG with $500 million fees for paying back loans on time with interest. These aren't, fair markets. There's nothing egalitarian about any of that. So we actually, as innovators, as people who understand these things, we went all in on a concept that makes total sense because we'd actually been the recipient of how quickly that can be shut off. That's key.
Exactly, guys. You don't need to wait for something like that in order to understand Bitcoin. And just keep an eye on it, think about it, and don't think too much. See you next time.